Good morning, Nourish Mamas. I am in the living room of the house, and you guys can't see it, but the waves are crashing, and it's super windy. And I always call these these mornings or these times. Hi, Janice. Good morning. The winds of change are blowing in right now. And that's exactly what I want to talk about. I want to talk about how our stress can change us and grow us to become the unstoppable creators of our life. And that is the story of my life and how I created, how I moved into this home, how I found my twin flame soulmate, how I moved my children into a Montessori school that I had no idea was even, that there was even space for them, and how I'm making some significant life changes upcoming by allowing my personal mom stress to transform me. And I do that by learning how to take action. Before I begin, I want to do a card reading because I said Tuesdays I would do card readings, so I'm just going to prop this up, and I have this really cool, my kids and I love this mermaid deck. We love it. It's super easy, and so what I do is I just shuffle a card, and I intend for the right card to come up for our group, and I'll do a little discussion about it, but I really want to make this about how we're learning here how to use stress in a new way. We're learning how to use our stress waves of prosperity. So this card is all about being prosperous. New abundance and exciting new opportunities wash over you. So that's great. So this goes like really, really hand in hand with what we're talking about, and how to use stress to be prosperous, and how to use stress to actually create opportunities and abundance. And abundance can be in the form of opportunities. Opportunities are abundance. Abundance can be love. Abundance can also be money. Okay? And so when we use our stress to grow us rather than stifle us, then we become prosperous. So that's a perfect card for today. So here's the deal. I'm learning that the more honest I am about my life situation, the more it allows me to take complete ownership of who I am. And that's what we came here to do in this lifetime. We came here to master ourselves and to have an abundant experience. And if we're not having that, it just means we need to be more truthful with who we are, right? What we're wanting and how we're going to get there. So it's really taking ownership of our feelings. And so yesterday I just want to totally share, and my eyes are super puffy because I spent a lot of time processing through some pretty significant fear. Fear is stress. And I was trying to put myself into the future, which you can never do, right? When you try to put yourself into a future that hasn't yet been determined yet, that creates a level of stress. And so there are parts of my life that have not yet been determined, some really big parts of my life that have not yet been determined. And so that pressure got to me yesterday. And I was with Anya in the car, and I was actually on the phone with David, and we were talking about some changes that are coming about, and we were both very nervous about them. And I know that in that pocket of nerves, there's actually amazing opportunities, but we were kind of stuck in this spot of wow, like it's stress for both of us. And so that it hurt me that I was stuck in that moment. And so I was supposed to be going grocery shopping with Anya, and I ended up just parking in the Whole Foods parking lot and just like surrendering to my emotions. And my emotions were that I was sad. I was sad that, I wasn't, I was sad that I couldn't fully express because I don't yet know what the future is going to be. And that's scary. So I named it. I was like, I'm sad and I'm terrified. I'm terrified. and I cried. And Anya I think she was asleep at the time, but I was like, it was like this wide open pouring of tears. And it continued, because, there's certain circumstances in my life that I just have to I completely let go. Once I learned that when a challenge arises, we get energy to deal with it at that time. And so worrying about, yeah. Well, definitely, Beth, one of my favorite teachers is Eckhart Tolle, and he talks about the power of now, and that being the choice moment, the power of that is our power, being in the moment of now. It gives us infinite opportunities. And so I want to be totally honest with you guys, like, this stuff, most of the time I can figure out on my own, but when it comes to making, we're moving out of our house on Wednesday, and I'm hosting a VIP client today. She's actually flying in from the Midwest, and I really hope her plane lands on time because it's so stinking windy here today. But we have so many amazing opportunities that are coming to us. But I have to, mastering staying in the moment and taking action from the moment is where I am right now. And so you're totally right, Beth, that anxiety is derived from, which anxiety is stress, right? Is derived from wanting to know what's going on in the future, but the future has not yet been created yet. But the amazing thing about being, and I call it I teach moms to create their dream come true life, is that you have to be in the moment. And so feeling a feeling all the way through is actually being present moment. It's being 100% truthful with yourself. And what happens with moms is that our plate is so full, right? Our plate is so full, we hardly ever slow down. And I know this because I'm a single mom and I have to be mom and dad at home, right? And so what I'm learning is I have to be tough, tender, compassionate, all those different emotions for my girls. I also have to allow them to be. But, I kind of got sidetracked with where I was going, but the biggest thing is I want to get across to you guys, and the reason why I am committed to being live and present in your homes every single morning is because I want you to learn that your mindset and how you are treating and thinking about yourself and your circumstances is your top priority, above and beyond all else. And my coach calls it managing your mind. My endurance coach, Katya, I was just reading a post from her about how she runs ultra marathons and how she ran a half marathon in San Diego with the endurance team. And she said it was just as hard as running an 83-mile race because she had to manage her mind. And your mind will pull you in many different directions. Our minds will pull us to the past, and we'll recreate the past over and over again in our life, which will lead to stress because we are conditioned to do things a certain way. And then there's the future. How many of us go to the future? Even I don't even know what's going to happen when my kids walk down the stairs this morning. I could get hit with anything, right? And yesterday was an example of that. They hadn't been up before 7 o'clock in weeks, and they were up at 6:15. It's like they sensed it. And so we don't know. But what I'm trying, what I really want to say is that you can choose it. It can be a life. And I love, I have an elite client, Colleen, and she's like, I want a life by choice. right? A life by design, my design, I design it. And for many women right now, we're really looking to jump out of the box. And the way to jump out of the box, to be different, to start to create your life designed by you, what I call, my dream lifestyle, is to use your stress and to own. This is the piece of it that, to own it. Like, this is my circumstances. This is what has been placed in front of me, not to stop me, right? Here's how your mindset can stop your growth. Your mindset can stop your growth if you blame anybody for your circumstances. I'm talking about blaming your children for your mood, blaming your husband for your mood, blaming your parents for your mood, blaming your colleagues, your boss for your mood. That can't happen. You have to take ownership. And taking ownership is bringing all the power back to you. And when we see that, I see this as moms standing in the middle, and there's a circle around you, and all of those things that come along with being a mom that are stressful are actually like constantly, that they can infiltrate you, meaning their energy can come at you and grab you and pull you off balance. And that can lead to serious frustration. But if you're looking at it and you're standing in the middle of your life saying, okay, these are the circumstances that I actually created and brought to me that are here for me to learn how to become the best person I can be. And whatever you want out of that, right? For me, in my circumstances, just 10 months ago, I just wrote David this. 10 months ago, I had my family had completely fallen apart. I had made the decision that I was really strong enough in my own self-love and my own awareness of who I was and where I was going and what I wanted in my life. This is really, really big, moms. You have to declare what you want in your life. And if you're having a hard time with that, I'm here to help you with that. Declare what you want in your life, right? And so I had done that. I had done that over and over and over again, and it was time. I was strong enough. And so I left my marriage, and it broke my family apart. My kids and I, we were devastated. It was the hardest thing I had ever done. And what I didn't do was I didn't run into the arms of another man to save me. And what I did do was I really got connected with what I was wanting, and I was wanting freedom. I was wanting financial freedom. I was wanting emotional freedom, meaning I was not going to I had zero tolerance in my life, and I still do, of allowing anybody to dictate my happiness. Meaning I have full ownership of my emotions. And the thing is that I'm always trying to master it. And so I have a coach. And yesterday, I was texting my coach, and she's like, what's going on? I'm like, and I had a dream last night. This was crazy. I had a dream last night that I was in a car that was driven by somebody else. And it was literally driving down a cliff that was like, bam. And I had no control over it. And to me, that represents, wow, that's strong strength and huge. Yeah. But the thing is I had a lot of stuff to get through, Beth. A lot of stuff to get through that I had to own. I had to own how shitty I was as a wife. I had to own how shitty I was as a parent. I had to own how, I had to learn how to love myself, forgive myself, take time to honor myself, and all of those things added up to, as what I was sharing with you guys, is yesterday I was listening to a Sarah McLachlan song that I remember listening to in my bedroom when I was literally dancing, and I imagined myself walking down the aisle to a man that I absolutely adored, like hands down. And I literally dreamed him into my life. And I remember I was going back and forth. I'm like, do I want brown eyes or blue eyes? And I was like, blue eyes. I'm like, they have to be crystal clear and I have to be able to look into them. And I brought that relationship into my life. And this is what but the thing is after that moment, I fully surrendered to the fact that I could do it by myself. And this was such a pivotal moment for me, and I realized how strong I was. And so what is happening now in my life is I'm learning to be in a relationship again that I'm seen and heard, and that I also have to see and hear the man, David. And I know, Janice, your husband's name is David, and wouldn't it be hilarious, Beth, if your husband's also name was David? But so I'm kind of getting a little bit off track, but today I'm talking about being in awareness of what you're feeling, right? What is going on around you? How are you? What is the trigger that's going on inside of you when things are unsettled? Are you being unsettled? And if you're being unsettled, there are ways to settle it. And it really, really, really begins with feeling the feeling, right? Naming it. Yesterday, I'm in my car. I'm like, what is going on? I couldn't settle down. My mind was all over the place. It was bouncing back. I don't go back. I don't ever recreate. But what I do is, felt someone else was driving your car down the cliff. Yeah, somebody definitely was driving my car down the cliff. Honestly, I think it's my lawyer. I think my lawyer, because I'm going through some stuff right now with my ex that's pretty heavy, and I'm handing it all over to my lawyer so that I can continue to be wicked present for every single part of my life. And that is not a part of my life that I even need to be present for. That is part of my life that I need to trust that my lawyer is doing the driving with that, right? And so what it was is he was literally driving us down the sheer face, boom, right into our dream vacation. And so, it's that kind of stuff that I decide what I want to focus on. And this is why I'm so grateful that every single morning I can wake up and share this information with you guys, because we can get pulled off center so fast if we don't realize it. Okay. And so yesterday, as I was feeling super shaky, like super in fear, like literally like terrified, stressed, as soon as I let that go, I was able to get really clear, and I wrote down what I wanted. And then I started to take the steps forward towards what I wanted. And so what happened was I'm preparing for Rachel to come and visit, and I wanted the house to be clean. I had to get some groceries. I had to, there was things that I needed to do, but I literally couldn't do them until I cried. And once that happened, I was able to gain massive clarity. I got my kids enrolled in doing what they do best, right? Neve loves to tidy up and make menus and do all these things. And Tegan's my organizer, and Anya was off playing with her toys, and we got it done. And we got to bed, and it was a great day. I had a quick session with my coach. She helped me get my mindset straight, and I woke up, and this is it, right? So I get to look forward to spending 24 hours with an amazing mom who's ready for some massive breakthroughs, because she knows that her life is being created for her to get out of her box, right? And so she's learning her exact strategy and her exact recipe. Good morning, Tegan. This is Tegan. This is my middle one. She's 6.5, and she is a super organizer, aren't you? Love how organized she is. And so yeah, that's it. But again, I go back to, like, I was crying in the car, right? Did I yell at you guys yesterday? I yelled at my kids, And so what happens? We can beat ourselves up for showing up as human beings, or we can allow these situations to be teachable moments for our kids. Being angry, right? Our anger gets displaced if we don't practice it, or we get triggered. It happens to me. And when it happens most is when I'm pressured, when there's stress. And so again, I bring it back to, I'm taking full ownership, and I take full ownership in my love life too, with where I'm falling short, where I'm not showing up. And what happens is, when you take full ownership of that stuff, you allow yourself to grow into it, right? And so I'm going to wrap things up here, as I know my kids are getting up. And, just to remind you, as Tegan grabs the card, prosperity. Feel and see the abundance in what I'm sharing with you. And, if you're watching this and you're feeling like, you don't know, or you have questions about it, please reach out, and you can message me. You can write in the chat below. I would love it if you guys could start sharing with friends. Tag friends in the morning. Let them know that you're tuning into Coffee with Carrie, and we're working on mindset around stress every single morning, Monday through Friday. I would love to do Saturdays and Sundays, but I don't want to. I could talk to you guys all the time. This is it. This is it for me. This is my purpose. Because learning how to transform your stress and so you can cultivate your life the way you want it to be is such an amazing gift, and I want to share this gift with more moms. So, you can share this on your page, you can tag, you can let people know in an email that this is going on at 6:30 Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, Coffee with Carrie, and we're talking about stress mindset. And I also, I don't know who's going to be present. Sometimes my kids are up. I hop on and off. There's a YouTube channel too that I share snippets of my day with my kids and what's going on, good, bad, and different. Like I said, I never know what's going to happen, but we're gearing up for some pretty exciting things this summer. And I'm going to be sharing all of that and more. So step 2 is, let me just see, all of that and more. Wow, big release, beautiful. Step 2 is taking ownership. Be truthful to ourselves and realize it's okay. We are human when we are pressured and stressed. But if you take ownership of it, yes. So yeah, it's like really being real with where Beth is being. So it's awareness of what is going on as a result of your stress. Who is it impacting? How is it getting in between and weaseling its way into your relationships? How are you reacting to your children because of the stress? How are you reacting to your spouse? What is the feeling inside of you, right? Those are all being an awareness. And then from there, right, from that spot, you have already begun the process of owning it, okay? And from there, you actually have to feel the feeling. Tal Ben-Shahar is another one of my teachers, and he was a lecturer at Harvard University. He talks about the power of positivity, and how you cannot be in the joy of your life and the bliss in your life if you don't also allow yourself to fully experience the pain in your life. And we are a culture who has very much suppressed our pain and covered it up. That's why we have drug problems. That's why our relationships are failing. That's why we have the level of stress that we have, because we haven't been able to fully process through the pain. Okay? And so we do it step by step, right? We're not just going to completely open up and let all of our pain out. We do that by seeing where our stress is and slowly and gradually allowing that stress to transform. The other huge part that I want to share with you guys is that you have to be moving forward towards a bigger goal. So my big goals that I did accomplish using this exact method was moving my family into a home that I literally saw in a dream. Connecting with my twin flame soulmate to experience an amazing love, right? I value education so much for myself and for my children that I got them into a Montessori school, which, I absolutely love the whole community, the whole mentality. So those were the three really big things that I created in my life, as well as building myself as a mom, as a single mom, and a woman who is, really sharing this message with moms to how to transform your stress, to be able to create your dream come true life. And this is it. This is exactly what I do. Exactly what I do. And tomorrow I'm going to be sharing more. And thanks, guys. So don't forget to like this. And I would love for you to tag a mom that you think would love to hear this. What I talk about is real mom stuff. I will answer your questions if I see them. Right now my contacts are a little bit out of focus, but let me just see. Let me just see what I can answer. So step 1 is owning our own stuff, and step 2 is yes. So Janice, knowing when you're stressed, and then being aware of how your stress is impacting other people. That's all part of taking ownership. And then, feeling it. You have to feel the feeling. So there's 3 steps right there. The 4th step is going to be really getting clear on what you want out of that stress, right? So when I was in a super stressful marriage, every single time I would come up against conflict, I would pray for peace. Okay? So that's like writing that down. Like, what do you want out of it? And actually saying it and writing it down and declaring it, intending on it. And then, the 5th and the 6th step is going to be going towards that. Okay, good. I'm glad you got it. That going towards that, right, with a purpose. Going towards that with the unwavering faith and the unwavering knowing that it's coming for you what you're wanting, right? And so that was, for me, the biggest thing right now that I can even speak into was that I wanted, the conflict in my life to be, you're welcome, to be, my own conflict, right? And how I deal with my own conflict. And what happens is my kids feed off of it. Like, I realize when I'm in inner conflict, my kids are also in conflict with me. It's like I send out this beacon of conflict. But when I'm peaceful, my kids are peaceful. So what Eckhart Tolle says, and I love his work, is that we have stress is like a disease, right? If we let it be, we can pass it, but we can also pass peace. We can also pass the strength. We pass the strength on to our children to be able to transform their stress. And we have to be the role models of this. If we're not the role models of this model, which is transforming your stress to create your power, then we share our, the anxiety and the stress of our life, we share it with our children. And I know 100% that this is a fact because I've lived in 2 separate realities with this. And the reality that, hands down, I choose to live in is being 100% truthful with who I am. I call this being connected to my inner truth. And being connected to my inner truth, I am able to create anything I want in my life. And I think it's so powerful and so valuable for all moms to know this, that it has become my life mission. And so with that, I am going to sign off, and I'm just going to say thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you on, what is tomorrow? Wednesday. Bye, everybody.